What's up, you guys? So today we're talking about pricing. This is our final little video on how to price your wedding photography, or family photography, or seniors, or anything like that. So today's gonna be a little bit controversial, a little bit different in terms of my opinion, because it's gonna be super straightforward, and just really the goal here is for you to start bringing in clients and making your business profitable. So we've already gone through in this course how to attract the ideal client, how to build up your brand, all that kind of stuff. You already have some styled shoots. You've shot a wedding or two. Now we're talking about, okay, where do you actually charge to just begin continuing for the rest of the year and start bringing in some clients? It all depends on the trust, right? We already talked about building that trust, but what are the numbers here? Again, every market is going to be different. And I strongly believe that the market is sort of like one of the largest dictators of your pricing in the beginning of your photography journey. So if you live in San Francisco, California, and you primarily shoot in the city, you're going to be charging a different price than if you're shooting in, Toledo, Ohio. I don't even know if that's a place, right? Columbus, Ohio, we'll just call it, right? And so, keep that in mind. What I would do is, if I'm just getting started, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to start bringing in some photography clients, I would get on Google and spend 30 minutes scouring Google for your area, the area that you're going to be serving. So if you're not planning on traveling to San Francisco, but you're planning on just staying in your hometown, what are the people charging in that area to be able to, shoot weddings? And so, for example, I just did a quick search of a city that I won't name. People are charging 3,000. This is number one, by the way. This is the first person who shows up on Google, which isn't always, the most, busiest photographer. But this person clearly has, experience, and this person clearly has a solid business here, and they have their pricing out on the website for you. So they're charging $2,950 for a 6-hour wedding. I will tell you, in my area, that is not going to be the case. You're looking at double or triple that just starting, right? If you want someone that you can trust. Now, will you find someone who can shoot it for free? Absolutely. Will you find someone who could charge $500? Totally. But I can guarantee you $500 for a 6-hour wedding is not sustainable. So to me, that's a sustainable price in that area. I'm saying in this city, for that price, you could probably pay for 2 months of rent on that, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking. So if you're shooting 2, 3, 4 weddings a month, you're a pretty good place. And so that's what they're charging. Again, every situation is different. Every price is different. But that's what I'm seeing here. Now, one thing that they did was they took the $2,950. What this person is really trying to do is charge $3,000 for a wedding, but they realize if they just drop that $50, they're going to attract that client, maybe because they're competing on price here, obviously. And so their market is maybe more budget and more interested in a cheaper package, right? Cool. Awesome. And so that's one of the tricks that I actually do for my area, particularly since I've left weddings in the last, year, and I've just done proposals. What I do now is I charge $1,000 for a proposal session, but I found that $1,000 can be a little bit scary, at least like 3 years ago, to people who are coming in looking just for, a 30, 45-minute session. So I just knocked off the $50. $950 is what I charge. Cool. That to me it's pennies, right? So that's what I do. I really like the idea of just dropping down the 50 and just bringing it down to the next number if you're competing on price, which I am right now for my particular niche. And so that's one thing that I really like here, is dropping that number down. There are other ways to think about pricing, and really it really just comes back to, you have to search all of Google, your marketing area, and see what they are charging. So I'm going to go to one more location or one more photographer and see what they are charging, just to see an example. Again, I'm not going to tell you the city that I'm going to, but I'm just on Google and I'm going down to the second page, or to the first page on the second person who's up here. And right off the bat, bam, this person is charging for an amazing photography package, $3,500, and their photography is amazing. I'm not lying. Like, this is straight up what you would call luxury. They have a boat driving down a Lake Como, video footage of this. It looks really good. Photography stunning, and they're charging $3,500. That would never work in California, but this person is able to do it, and maybe it would work. But I can tell you right now, what I'm seeing here is easily this is going to be $10,000 in California. So once again, this person is also doing the same thing where they have really it's like $4,000 is kind of like what they're kind of like aiming for. Bring it down to 3,500 is what they're charging for their photography package. And that's gonna sound a lot nicer than 4,500, right? And so that's just something to keep in mind. So do a scour of Google in your area, look through some photographers and see what they're charging. I mean, right here there's a $1,000 difference, but for what you're getting for the second photographer, I would much rather go with a $3,500 photographer versus the two. Their photography is great. Okay, cool. Yeah. So if you just keep going through Google and finding out who is in your area, who's marketing to your area, what they're charging. Here's another photographer in that same area. And again, $3,600 for a starting collection or starting package. And their photography is not as good as the first person I saw or the second. And so that's just really interesting to me. But that's what they're able to charge, and that's what they're getting away with. And I can tell you right now, cool. Good for them. I mean, that's pretty incredible. So just keep kind of going through Google and finding out what you can charge. Then what I would do if I'm a brand new photographer and I'm just getting started and I see, the greatest in my area charging 3,600. The first place on Google is charging 2,600. I would charge 2,000, right? Just straight up $2,000, no pennies. This is not a science in terms of like, this is $2,156. Just go straight numbers, right? People don't like to see all the numbers. Just give it as simple as possible. So that's just my little take on pricing here in terms of like coming up with your actual number. But keep in mind everything we've talked about so far, which is you need to start with your objective, the goal. Where are you going as a photographer? Are you retiring on this, or is this just side money for Chick-fil-A? Are you going to be investing in this business so that it takes over and is a giant machine that is just you're shooting 3 weddings a year kind of thing, or are you doing this 3 times a week? So keep in mind what your objective is and let yourself get to that place with a very clear path. So hopefully that was helpful today. I want you guys today go through Google and I want you to find who in your area is charging what for what hours, and literally you don't have to copy them. Like, don't copy their copy, don't do their text. I want you to just say, this is what people are offering, right? One last thing about pricing that I want to mention here is when you are, and I see this here on the services, on the packages that the people are offering, when you are listing out what you offer, and I see this mistake all the time with new photographers, when you're listing out what you offer 6 hours of wedding coverage, you offer consultations, you offer a guide, right? Wedding guides. You offer 300 to 600 images, whatever it is for you, right? You offer a slideshow. You offer a video slideshow with music. All these things which are free on Pixieset that you're paying for, you need to include in what you are offering. So create a list of all the things that you're offering. And you know what? I will just show you or tell you right now what I offer for my photography in terms of proposals. And so I'm going to go to my website and I'm going to look up what I offer to my clients, because it's so many things. I don't have them all memorized, but you know what? A lot of these things we don't think about, and we just kind of like, assume that the client knows that these things exist, and that's not the way to do it. So I offer, this is for proposals, this is for me, and again, I'm crazy. Your images are ready the night of, and we'll talk all about that. Rain insurance. If it rains, you get your refund. You get all your money back, because it hardly rains here in California, but it freaks people out. So you're going to get your retainer paid back to you. I don't care. It's something that I'm willing to to go with, because I'll save up the money and make sure I have that money to refund them. You have a stress-free 10% deposit, so it's just $90 to retain me. The remainder will come out the day of. So if they want to cancel, it's no big deal. You have Big Sur location scouting. You have access to your location guides. You have Big Sur proposal moments captured, poses and engagement style images. You have 150 edited images. You have online album delivered the night of, high quality downloads, social media ready file sizes, online store, savings on prints, and I go on and on and on about the things that you get if you go with me. It's not just photography. It's all these extra things that you're getting. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have questions, let me know. Head over to my website if you want a free Excel sheet for your profit and loss statement, as well as to see the entire course laid out for you logically. Anyways, my name is Daniel. I am a bookkeeper for photographers. I was a photographer for the last 15 years, and my goal is to just share everything I know with you about starting a photography business in the hopes that you won't have to go out and buy a course. So if you have questions, let me know, and I'll make another video answering that question specifically because I don't want you to spend money, thousands of dollars on these courses. The information's free.